Hi, everyone. I'm excited to welcome you today to learn a little bit more about how traditional Chinese medicine is actually a lifestyle medicine, a complete holistic healing system for longevity. And it includes what I call self care training. It's one of my favorite topics. My whole goal is to help you design your lifestyle so that you can create permanent results, so that you can reach peak performance, so that you can balance and cure and treat any kind of health challenges naturally. So, this is the original integrative functional medicine. It's 8,000 years of wisdom in written word for 4,000 years. It's the longest practiced form of medicine in the world. And so it's integrative because we look at the whole body as a system, also because I do a lot of translations between Eastern medicine philosophy and concepts into Western medicine anatomy, physiology, practical ways to understand what's going on inside of our body, mind, and spirit, and how they're all working together in an interplay, playing games well as a team or not so well as a team. And so traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, includes integrative functional medicine, acupuncture, herbal medicine, diet therapy, exercise therapy. I am a certified Qigong and yoga instructor for many years, since 2007. I've been practicing and teaching for quite some time. And I really do specialize in lifestyle design for your peak performance and longevity. That's the whole goal here. So, welcome to this presentation. There's 10 slides here. Also, you have been given and can download on my website as well, where this will live at my chillexome.com/learn page and on a 6-week challenge page. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But I love this quote: the greatest medicine of all is teaching people how not to need it. So what are other opportunities you have besides drugs and surgery to help yourself? That's what we'll explore here today. And just need to forward this slide. I don't know why that's not working. So I am here. I'm going to go to this other window. And then there we go. Sorry for the technical difficulty. I had to go to the different window to be able to forward the slides over. And so what is traditional Chinese medicine? We talked a moment about that. It's a lifestyle medicine. It's integrative medicine. It's 8,000 years of wisdom with 4,000 years of continuous clinical practice documented in written word. So it treats the whole person, whole body, mind, and spirit, and has been verified to be effective by our modern clinical research. And so you'll find on my website, in my articles, everything I share with you here, I am dedicated to being a messenger. So I share a lot of clinical research studies. There's about 20 sources for this presentation. So unlike modern symptom-focused medicine, TCM identifies and corrects root causes, making it the original functional and preventative medicine. And we're using these 3 tools: food and herbs as the first line of medicine, dietary therapy and herbal medicine prescription. So you may have heard of Chinese medicine herbs, and they can be put together in a formula, and they can be customized and prescribed for any kind of health condition and health goals of the idea of not just treating disease, but reaching a state of peak performance. What would that look like? This original medicine was practiced for the emperors in Asia, in China, to keep them living the longest, having the most children, and being active and healthy for as long as possible. Now we all have access to it, which is quite incredible. And so one of the tools for that, besides the food and herbal medicine, is using Qigong, which is the Chinese word for movement exercise like yoga. So it's energy movement exercise, or the East Indian version of that is yoga. And also the philosophy is integrated into the practice of these lifestyle practices in traditional Chinese medicine. So a Taoist mindset, it's living in harmony with nature and life. Having that Buddhist kind of non-resistance to challenges, rising to the occasion courageously, noticing them as a call to action for us, getting that objective self-awareness and realizing how we fit into all things. The whole process of life inside of us is mirrored in the external world, in the environment, in the animal kingdom. And so we're looking for all of those common themes, common phenomenological experiences. So we witness it outside of ourselves and inside of ourselves. So it's that macrocosmic outside and microcosmic inside. We are all in an interplay with life itself. And so we can start to notice the patterns and notice when things are out of balance and notice how to help ourselves get back in balance is a general concept here. So using food and herbal medicine, using Qigong movement, using that philosophy of wanting to be in harmony with nature and find balance. And then acupuncture is actually the third intervention. It's when the other lifestyle medicine practices of food and herbal medicine and your own self-cultivation in movement, regulating your nervous system and physiology with things you do for yourself, like movement, breath work, meditation, etc. We'll talk about in a little while. If that all isn't enough, then we can come and re-regulate your physiology with acupuncture when the lifestyle needs some additional support. So as we discussed, TCM is a philosophy that views the body as an integrated system where the physical, emotional, and spiritual health are intertwined mutually in generating. They are inseparable. And so we can treat the whole person by using these aspects, these practices, these tools in our daily life. And so we do have a modern health crisis. Lifestyle medicine actually is more important than ever because prolonged stress creates cortisol, you've probably heard of as a stress chemical, and that has very detrimental effects when it's not managed. And so the hippocampus is part of the brain that we need to function properly for hormone function, for memory function. That's why when we're under stress, our IQ can drop up to 13 points. So it's harder to solve problems when we allow our nervous system to stay in fight or flight stress response. And it actually shrinks part of the brain, literally, physiologically, and drives the feelings of anxiety and depression and results in chronic illness because the prolonged cortisol stress chemical manufacturing throws off hormone balance of manufacturing other hormones we need to drive function. And it causes chronic inflammation. And that's been shown to be a leading cause of chronic illness. So there's this biological cascade. It's not just that we feel stressed, it's that we are physiologically stressed, and that's manifesting in some very real physiological damage. And we find that the top 5 modern stressors are financial stress. So that scarcity mindset is what drops the IQ by 13 points. So when our brain thinks we're defeated and we're not able to keep our agency, we're not empowered to be able to do something about our circumstances, then our body and our brain conserves energy. That's why the IQ drops. So we stop being as creative and vibrant. Our brain just decides, well, I can't contribute, so I'm just going to give up. So that's very, very serious not to live in that scarcity, poverty type of financial mindset. And then we have again, as a result, we become moody, reactive, emotionally reactive. We're living from the back of the brain, the reactive lizard part of the brain. And so that can cause social division. We don't get along with others. We say things we wish we didn't say. We also are living in that state of fear. That uncertainty is quite a burden to carry. And then it can drive us to be isolating ourselves. And then that feeling of loneliness, lack of community and support within and without, by having trouble connecting with other people when we're under these influences of living in fight or flight stress response. There's also issues of healthcare access, which is what I've been working to solve since 2021. I created my charity, my 501c3 nonprofit, to offer these free classes and offer free treatments at my clinic so that everybody can access acupuncture, so that we can rewire our nervous system to become more resilient, less reactive to stress, so it doesn't rule us. Rather, we can learn how to manage it and then actually cancel out all of these negative effects of living in stress chronically. And I know that there's a big issue, technological overload. There's actually an information overload as a diagnosis syndrome. So we have too many decisions to make. We have access to too much knowledge, anything we want to know all at the same time, whether we're asking for it or not. We have all of these commercials, for example, billboards. The world is very loud, and that's very, very overwhelming to our nervous system. And the other issue, besides just the information itself, that's asking too many questions, giving us too much to process as far as data is concerned, there's also the issue of the disruption of our nervous system from things like the 5G network towers. So the electromagnetic frequency radiation is a big problem. Research studies have shown that it can cause nervous system cancer, brain tumors, some really serious problems, besides the inflammatory effects as well, that are a leading root cause of chronic illness. And so we have too much electricity, too much radiation from devices. And so that doesn't really help us be able to manage our nervous system very well too. And so that's one of the reasons why we need to have a reset. So we have 44 million Americans suffering from anxiety as a result of these issues. 31 million Americans suffer from depression. We have 26% of US adults diagnosed with mental disorders. And we have 80% highly stressed adults develop chronic illness. So this is what we have to rise to the occasion to tackle. So these are the obstacles we can turn into opportunities to educate ourselves, to get the tools to reduce stress mentally, emotionally, and on a physical level, so that we don't have to fall prey to these issues. So TCM, addressing the root cause, is really about re-regulating that nervous system, getting us out of fight or flight so that we don't stay in fight or flight stress response and develop chronic illness. So I use a 4 pillars health assessment. I have that as a sheet that I emailed along with the invitation to this class. And I hand it out at my clinic. I put it in my goodie bags that I hand out at the live events. And so the point is, can we look at these 4 aspects of life: stress, diet, movement, and sleep? These are the primary, most influential aspects on our health and well-being. So these need to be managed. And if we don't do a self-assessment every 6 to 12 months, it's easy for us to drop one of these out. Maybe we're compromised for some time on our diet, on our management of mental, emotional, and physical stress. We don't move enough if we have a sedentary job, for example, or we stand too much in a different type of standing, demanding job. And then these are the issues. If we're stressed and our diet is off, it's hard to sleep, and then our body can't repair. And so that's a big, big issue too. So We need to stop stress from creating the inflammation and imbalanced hormones and compromised immunity and digestion so that our body can actually do the job when we're sleeping of remaking us. Every 6 months for soft tissue, for example, muscles and skin, and 1 to 3 years, our body has to regenerate literally all of our tendons, ligaments, and bones too. It's a big job. And stress stops that. It's like a construction site that doesn't get enough wood and nails with nutrition and no workers show up to do anything. That doesn't really build such a great house, huh? And so we need to look at lifestyle as the number one area where we can create our own problems of disease, or we can create our solutions of optimal health and balance. And so, what are these 4 pillars of health? So that's the stress management. Now, the mind and body are connected. You'll see on the slides, Chillaxome Mind Body Medicine is listed for that reason. Even my name, Chillaxome, is hinting at that. We need to chillax. It's my number one recommendation. How can I help everyone learn how to be more relaxed and happy? And the Om is Oriental medicine, but it's also from yoga, that idea of reaching a space within yourself of peace that's resilient against stress, that's grounded regardless of life's challenges, a place where we can go to within ourselves that is unaffected, so to speak, immovable. And how do we cultivate that? And so that's stress management and mindset. It's not just the mindset, because we also have to reset the physical body's nervous system as well. That can be done in as little as 2 minutes with a 4-7-8 breathing technique, very famous for thousands of years from yoga, for example. And that's part of what we're doing too with the mindfulness-based stress reduction practices. That's that whole research study termed bank of things like yoga and qigong movement. The breath work, meditative movement is what Tai Chi, a form of qigong, is. And so these are things that will manage our cortisol, manage the inflammation, get us out of the stress response, and make it easier for us to be able to embrace new perspectives of our own agency, our own empowerment, get more creative, have our 13 points of IQ back to solve problems. And so we talked a little bit about the exercise, right, as the second pillar after stress, and then looking at the diet and herbal medicine. And so what is our nutritional intake? Are we eating inflammatory foods or anti-inflammatory foods? Are we eating a diet that can improve our mood or make it worse? Are we managing blood sugar and hormones? Again, if we don't eat often enough, our body goes into a stress response, makes stress chemicals, has to spike our blood sugar. We have erratic mood changes and energy and mental clarity crashes. And so it's not just what we eat, it's how and when we eat as well. And then getting into the sleep and recovery. So 7 to 9 hours is optimal. I talk to many people that sleep 4 to 6 hours at the most. That's something to really look at. Also, not going to bed and waking up at the same time really throws off that circadian rhythm. So there's a consistent sleep and wake time that allows the body to use the sleep time to repair. And that's very important for hormone balance, for driving all the function in our body to work properly, and having us be able to have resources of energy to show up. So if any of these 4 pillars is weak, it's like a chair. I can sit in this chair and fall right over if one of the legs gives out. And so this is your foundation for longevity. This is proven by modern Western science research and also from our ancient wisdom of traditional Chinese medicine. We need to pay attention to these. And that's what the self-assessment practice is for. Can we ask these questions and look at how we would help ourselves? And so once you've identified that one of your pillars, like stress management, is out of control. As I said earlier, you can use breath work, qigong, yoga. You can also work on mindset training to open up a new perspective of how to see things that would be more empowering. But also acupressure, not just acupuncture with needles, can also reset the physiology. And once the mind has the support of a body being in balance, it's much easier to have more mental clarity, have more creativity, be able to problem solve much better. And so these are the things that we can do on the right side of the screen in order to manage stress and improve our mindset and stop stress from causing chronic illness in 80% of us. And these are the exercise, diet, food as medicine, sleep, and recovery. So these are some great statistics from clinical research studies of how much change these can create for you. So yoga and qigong is the Chinese form of yoga, is the #1 cortisol reducer. And you only have to do 3 times a week for 55 minutes as an optimal dose. And it rivals antidepressants for mild, moderate depression and improves neuroplasticity and memory. So again, as we age, one of the issues that can be faced is loss of memory and cognitive function. And so again, exercise is a way to keep our memory. It's very important. And then looking at our diet, our food is medicine and makes a big difference in our holistic health too. And so we can reduce cortisol and inflammation with omega-3s. The Mediterranean diet also can reduce depression. If we look at ultra-processed foods, there's a direct relationship with eating processed foods and depression. We also have a gut-brain axis. So the gut is the second brain. It absolutely affects our mental clarity. If you ever had brain fog, maybe you've been diagnosed or heard of people diagnosed with things like attention deficit disorder, ADHD. One of the places to look is what the gut microbiome health is, because that reduces anxiety. If you use something, an intervention like probiotics, for example, to balance the microbiome in the gut, you can reduce anxiety. Also, I mentioned earlier, blood sugar stability is essential for mental health. And so if we eat carbs, for example, without healthy fats and proteins that digest slow, we'll have a crash. And that crash really affects our mood, our mental clarity, our stamina, our mental health when the blood sugar drops out. Too many hours between meals or eating foods that don't slow digest. Bam, that's where we are. We can become definitely more moody, more anxious, more exhausted, and lose our edge of creativity, mental focus, and function. So it's very important to keep blood sugar stable. And then looking at sleep and recovery, wow, a lot of magic happens. Even one night of deprivation of sleep raises our cortisol stress hormones. So we really want to look at that 7 to 9 hours of a consistent sleep schedule that's optimal, because consistent sleep will also regulate stress chemicals of cortisol. And that is another issue. Sleep disorders are also shown in clinical research to be directly linked to experiencing depression. So we have a lot of modern science here, especially over the last 50 years. This has been looked at a lot. And so these are the areas you'll see on your worksheet. You can do this right here. Just start to notice. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how often do you feel stressed, overwhelmed, and burnt out? Is it every day? Is it every other day? Is it seldom? Is it once a week? On a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being none and 10 being the most. Same idea. Do you look forward to exercise or do you avoid it? Do you practice any kind of exercise regularly? Is that really a consistent part of your life? What's that score? Looking at diet and nutrition, do you eat regular meals with protein and fats that digest slow to keep your blood sugar stable? Do you notice how many hours you have between meals? Do you notice how much nutrition is in your meals? Have you done an evaluation? Well, how much nutritional content is in the food that you eat? Is it enough for the level of exercise that you do, for example? So you could be very active, but not be eating enough of the right nutrients. Also, besides maintaining muscle by eating enough protein when you're active, another ball that gets dropped a lot is not eating enough fats. Fats are what hormones are made of and stored in. Not having enough fat in our diet negatively affects our hormone balance. We especially start to feel that as we get older, usually in our 40s, as we can head towards perimenopause, menopause, and there is a menopause. Men's hormones also shift and change. If testosterone is low, it's hard to keep muscle tone and strength. Also, brain fog is another complaint. Fatigue as well of low testosterone. Similarly, low estrogen also creates those types of symptoms. You can have problems. Hi, how are you doing? I was recording a class.
You're recording a class?
Uh-huh. You can come on in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I thought you were doing are you doing the thing tonight from 5:30?
Yeah. So I was recording the class. Some people couldn't make it, so they asked me to record the presentation, and then I can share it with them. And so I'm almost done with the presentation, and then I'm happy. Basically, what I'm talking about is doing a self-assessment. So you can have a seat, and I can give you one of the sheets because I'm asking people to evaluate how's your stress going.
Okay.
What is your nutrition like? Are you eating at all, regularly skipping meals? What's the quality of nutrition? You actually came in at the right time because this is the point in the class where I ask people, hey, what's going on? Let's do an evaluation and look at, your activity levels. Are you able to get out and exercise and move? How is your sleep? If we look at these are the 4 most important pillars of health. And so usually one of them gets out of balance if we don't check in every 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
How are we doing? We can have a whirlwind of all kinds of seasons, holiday season, kids in and out of school, all that kind of stuff. And so this is the opportunity to have a simple way just to check in and catch up. So I'm going to step over here. I'll give you one of these sheets.
I was also going to
You
ask.
can take this with you. You don't even have to do it right now.
Okay.
But this lets you start to see what it is that's out of balance by rating them here 0 to 10, and then start to make a plan, and then you would do it.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, because I was going to ask you how long this was going to go for because I actually have another thing that started at 5:30.
Yeah,
Stop by me first
I'm
to
so
see.
glad. Yeah, this is basically going for another 15 minutes until 6.
Okay.
And then you can take that with you.
I can take this and then I can watch what platform are you doing this on?
Yeah, so I recorded and then I add it to my YouTube channel and my website.
Okay.
And so I can share it with you too.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you want, you can tell me here, if you just sign in, okay, with your cell phone or your email, where do you want me to send you the link? And for you guys, this is your chance to do your own 4 pillars assessment, and I'll be right back. So think about how to answer these questions for yourself. Email or text
Email.
you?
Yeah.
So I'll text you, email you.
Jean.
That's awesome.
Yay!
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Okay.
Would you like anything to drink? Do you want to use the restroom before you go?
Oh, no, I'm gonna head back over there and probably grab my bag and then, meet some girlfriends of mine. So,
Awesome.
nice,
Yeah.
awesome. I will do this and then I will check out, oh, what is is it all on here?
Yeah.
Your YouTube?
Yeah, if you
channel?
go to my website, chillaxzone.com, there's like the longer link is just have the page of this class for the assessment list.
Okay,
But on my website,
Okay.
it has an icon for YouTube.
awesome.
And then I have like 100 videos there. I have like self-care tools because I do a lot of lifestyle education.
Yes.
You can
Nice.
really take total control of your health. You just need some simple tools. You can start to play
Definitely.
with them. That's what this 6-week challenge idea is about. If you assess what your gaps are,
Mhm.
then you have the opportunity to pick up a new habit that can help you improve whichever area that you want to focus on. But the whole thing is, we're very American. We try to do too much too soon.
Yep.
And then we just get overwhelmed and we'll give it up because it's just not possible. That's everybody. So I encourage you, like, it's just one thing.
Yeah.
It's one area. It's
Yeah.
1 to 3 new things at once, no more than 3, but really try to keep it to 1 every 6 weeks. Just give yourself a chance to get something simple in place.
Okay.
Once that's settled, then you can take on something else.
Yes.
So over a year, you can really transform.
Yeah.
If we're the turtle instead of the rabbit.
Right, exactly.
It's not
Yeah.
a race. We're not out. We'll run, and then
Yeah, I'm reading the book, Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
Right now.
that's exactly what it talks about.
Yes, so I'm about a quarter of the way through that right now,
Awesome.
so.
Yes, it's tiny habits
Yeah.
and attach them to something you already do.
Yeah.
And don't try to do too many at one
Yeah.
time. And
That's
then
me,
you'll
I'm like
always
those.
win. Yeah, we just gotta set ourselves up to win.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for saying hi. Shay, good to see you.
Awesome, you too.
Have a good night.
You as well.
Bye. So I imagine that in the minutes that you had while I was helping a walk-in late arrival, is that you have assessed which of your pillars has the lowest score and what would you focus on for 6 weeks. And so don't fall into the trap of doing too much at once too soon. You can choose just one of these areas and just choose one new habit that will help you improve whichever area needs the most attention. And that's the whole point here of the 6-week challenge. I can help you do that. I can help you create a plan. You can DIY this now that you understand the concept and you did your first assessment here, and choose 1 to 3 simple, affordable habits that will improve your pillar that needs the most attention. And just focus on that one pillar and 1 to 3 actions for 6 weeks. Get those in place, get those solid, figure them out, and don't be hard on yourself because it usually takes at least a couple weeks to figure out when and how to do this stuff. And so bringing up the Atomic Habits, a best-selling book, you want to do a new habit that you attach to something you already do, that you do every day. So for example, I do stretches before I get out of bed in the morning. Thank God I go to a bed every day. And so I will be in a bed. And so before I get out of bed, I can do stretches, and vice versa. Before I close my eyes to go to sleep, I can do some stretches right there in bed. So every time I see the bed, I'm reminded, hey, I made this commitment to myself to do these stretches every day. Same idea. I have some patients that I'm a big fan of trampolines and vibration plates. Every time I go to the restroom here, I have my trampoline in view. so that when I come back, before I sit back down at a desk or in between patients I see, I can jump on the trampoline for a couple minutes. That's anti-inflammatory, resets my nervous system, re-energizes me, gives me more energy, mental focus, and is super easy. And those are just $80 online, really inexpensive and affordable to get one of those tiny rebounder trampolines. So we want to keep it simple and attach the new habit to something we already do, like those examples. And so I want you to track your progress. I'd like you to reward yourself and celebrate the fact that you looked at your health, that you got creative about ways you could improve it, and chose 1 to 3 simple habits that were doable and affordable that you could keep up, and attach them to something that you already do every single day, like going to bed or going to the bathroom. Or some of my patients, they have a vibration plate they stand on while they brush their teeth, because usually most of us are going to brush our teeth once to twice every day, if not more. So these are some free links, free resources for you, links to those resources. You have the 6-week challenge page. It's a game. If you want to join the group, you can. You don't have to join the group. You can be in it right now. I'm starting my own new 6-week challenge currently right now to improve my health as well. I was overworking and not moving as much, and so that's my big activity. I'm also being more aware of what I'm eating, because I could skip meals, have too many hours, just not be as aware. So I'm working on those things. You can work on those things with me too in the group. I do give away prizes and treatments if you join the group. For the 6 weeks, it's $125 if you want the group support. And I also give one-on-one consultations to help you figure out what would be the best investments, types of habits, how to troubleshoot, make them doable so that you get the best results and land in a different place after the challenge from what you were able to do with support during the challenge. And then there is also another free 34-minute class, and that is going a little bit deeper into Western and Eastern medicine perspectives on our 4 pillars of health and the role of a acupuncturist to be an asset to you, to help you figure out how you can really cultivate better health and well-being long-term for the rest of your life. You can actually live 24 years longer with highest quality of life if you get your healthy habits in place by the time you're in middle age, 40 to 60 years old. So that's what I'm walking here doing with you. That's what I'm inviting you to do with me. And so you have the resources of walking in on Saturdays for free acupuncture from 1 to 5 p.m. in addition to these free classes online. And you can ask me any questions via text or email when I share this recording with you. So thanks for your time today. Thanks for, I really want you to honor yourself for showing up, to start to pay attention to how you can help yourself be healthy, happy, and whole, and enjoy your life to the fullest. So bye-bye. See you again soon.